everyone, and welcome back to the Rosé Bespoke YouTube channel. Today I'm very lucky because I have a sort of world-renowned expert on housekeeping and training and various other elements, which I will let her fill in herself. So I'd like to welcome Elisabeth Alleyne. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be part of this fantastic little video here about me and what I can do. My name is Elisabeth Alleyne and I live in Barbados. However, I'm Swedish. So I have both the European, Caribbean, and international aspect of the hotel industry. I've been working in the industry since I was 15 years old. I worked both in small hotels, large hotels, business hotels, luxury hotels, all-inclusive hotels, and my last one was actually here in the Caribbean at one of the most famous all-inclusive properties, which is within Sandals Resort International, where I was the hotel manager. I have worked with housekeeping, front office for the majority of my life. However, I have gone into different departments along the road, especially now the last 8 years. I've also had the honor to work 8 years actually on cruise ships, Holland America Line, Oceania Cruises, Celebrity Cruises, and Silver Sea Cruise Lines. So I have a very broad experience, and my book is pretty big. So I know a lot of different things in different areas for different purposes. So that's a very short, brief summary of Elisabeth Alleyne.
Yeah, well, you've done a lot, so it's difficult to fit it. Like, we could do like a sort of hour video, you just saying your experience, but
yes, that's right. I have been through a lot and I've seen a lot. And what is one of my biggest qualities is too that just because I have a title doesn't mean that I'm just sticking to that. So I always explore outside of my actual norm and what actually is there for me. So let's say I'm a room divisions manager and I'm only supposed to deal with front office and concierge and housekeeping, but I put my little few senses into the reservations, the revenue, finding projects. So that's why my book is pretty big, because I have a lot of experience in a lot of different fields.
Well, yeah, that's hugely important. I think anyone who's going to do well and get on in this industry, if you're someone who just looks down, puts your head down, and only does what you've been told to do, you never really get to the top.
That's right. And I think that's the good thing about this industry. If you're really willing to learn, there are no limits. Like an old manager said to me, sky is the limit. You know, you can do whatever you want at any time. And that is what I love about this industry. And I think that is probably why I'm so passionate about this industry, because one day is never like another. And no guest is like another guest. And I think one great thing for me in my experience too is going on a cruise ship and then working on land. There are no guest issues that I can't handle. None. Everything, there is always a way. And that is what I look at in every kind of positions that I'm put in. There's always a way and there's never a no. That's how I look at it.
100%. That's definitely my ethos as well. I mean, I love it when people say that. So what I've got you here today to talk about is, I'm really excited that you and I are going to do a project together, because what we want to do is, you know, I met you when I was in Barbados and I heard about your incredible career and what you've been doing, and the fact that you've been training people in these really high level facilities for such a long time. And I said, look, there's a world of people who need this training. They need your expertise. Will you please come and help me out and train some people and let others know all this knowledge that you have? So you came up with a brilliant training program, absolutely fantastic. And what I'd like you to do now is please share with the world a little bit of what's in this training program, so what they can expect.
Well, I always say that, you know, training is how are we going to develop ourselves and how are we going to get better? And what I have to offer right now is, especially in housekeeping, training program, because I find housekeeping is the heart of the hotel. And these days in our new normal, we really, really need to have housekeeping above and beyond any other level. And I would be able to train and make you feel comfortable in performing these new tasks, these new sanitizing, disinfecting tasks, these new procedures, and to make your day as productive and happy as possible. Because at the end of the day, the guests right now, when they come, they want to know, what are we doing in a COVID world? What are we doing? How are we doing it? So I want you to be the most enthusiastic room attendant, public area attendant that can just show them exactly what makes them comfortable coming to that particular hotel. And now for me to be able to share my experiences from all the way back down to the cruise ships, actually, is to give you different techniques on how to clean, different ways to clean, different ways of talking, because at the end of the day, you will be greeting and seeing guests a lot, and I will be there to be able to show you with my own experiences. You will see some of my own experience. I will be sharing a lot of my own experiences, because then you can relate to that when it happens. So I'll be doing online training. I can do in-person training. And when I'm doing in-person training, I will do on-the-job training, not only classroom training, because you can sit 50 minutes in front of a big whiteboard and I talk, and then you go outside and you won't remember a lot. You hopefully remember some, but my main thing is for you to see me in action so that you can remember Miss Elisabeth, this Swedish Belgian expert in housekeeping, and you will then be able to do wonders within your limitation of what you have at your property. So that's kind of a brief explanation on what I can do. And also because of my experiences in different areas, in different hotels here in the Caribbean, from all-inclusive to luxury, privately owned, to middle, all-inclusive standard hotels, I have a little bit of everything, so I can relate to you. You will be able to feel and see and hear. And I also have from the European side, where I was in so many years in the same chain, and I have so many good experiences from there too. So I think if I put that in a little bag for you, I will be able to give you whatever it is that you need to perform at your best ability. So that's exactly what I'll be able to do for you.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good takeaway in my bag to take home right there. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
So I hear you talking quite a bit there about some of the new protocols, like the COVID-19 protocols that everyone talks about and not everyone understands, to be absolutely honest.
Yeah.
So, we're in the news every day, we're hearing about vaccines and we're hearing about this kind of thing. But do you think it's still important to do this training now?
Absolutely. We have to do it now, and we have to continue to do it. We should never stop, because we never know what's out there. And I feel that if you have the comfort of working in this industry with the knowledge, you can come across any kind of diseases, viruses, bacteria, because it's all in the same kind of process. It's not just COVID-19 that's out there. We have other ones that we keep forgetting, and we really need to keep ourselves up there and aware of our surroundings. And at the end of the day, yes, we have to train and train and train right now. We also have to train when people have gotten the vaccine and they all think that everything is out there and everything is happy. We cannot fall down there. And that is where our guards have to be much higher than ever. And we just have to continue. And at the end of the day, we as the leaders and the trainers, we need to make sure that those that we have trained, we never forget them. We're going to reflect back. We're going to make sure that we always keep them up there. If there's any new methods that come out, any new products that come out, any new guidelines that come out, we will be there. And we're going to make sure that you understand them. Because yes, some of these protocols, they look like a long, fancy terms and conditions, but what do they really say? What is really behind each and every word? And we as these people that can share it with you, we really need to make it a daily life. You know, it's the same for you at home. When you come home, do you sanitize at home? Do you clean differently at home? What do you do to protect your people at home? You live here in the Caribbean, maybe not so much in Europe, but here in the Caribbean, everybody lives with their grandmother and their mother and their father and their uncle and their aunts. We need to take care of them too. And in Europe, we need to get not only Europe, all over the world. We need to take care of each other. And if we can learn what we do when we work, we can do it in any setting, in any area. Look at the airlines. The airlines right now they never stop training, but they got everything in a package, but they don't stop the training. The ones that are being the most trained, service-minded people right now is the airline staff. From pilots to maintenance men to everybody within the airline industry are being trained in everything every single day. We need to get this as our natural way of living. If you come from the Maldives, Australia, New Zealand, Barbados, Jamaica, doesn't matter. We all have to have the same knowledge and understanding of what's going on around us. So no, now is the time. Now is the time. Do not stop. Now is the time. That's all I have to say about that.
I mean, I must say, I can't help but think if the hygiene standards around the world had been what they are now at the beginning of this outbreak, I think, and I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened, but I think it would have been much easier to control. It would have been much slower. Yeah. Because it's simple things that some of us were already doing. A lot of, when I read the COVID protocols, a lot of it, I was thinking, well, that's what we already do, but it wasn't what everyone already did, was it?
No, it wasn't. And the fact is too that I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people are saying, oh, but Elisabeth, we're doing this already. We're cleaning like this already. We're doing this already. Yeah, you clean, you sanitize, but do you disinfect? And that's just one basic thing. No, I'm not sure if I do that. How should I do that? What? Okay, so there you go. Do you do it? You don't know, you're not sure. So let's make sure that we can put down on a piece of paper that you've gone through all of these things. And at the end of the day, anywhere in the world, when you work with guest services, you only provide the service that you are able to provide because of how you've been trained and what experiences you have. So if you're a brand new person coming out from a school, you don't have any experience, but you have a lot of theory and you have a lot of education because you come out of school. Now you have to put that in practice. Then you have the room attendants that are in a European hotel or in a Caribbean hotel that's been there for so long. They're doing the same thing over and over again. They know everything, don't get me wrong, but they need to get that extra little knowledge to provide that particular service that the guests are looking for today, because we are not going to travel like we used to. We are not going to see the hotels, the resorts, the way like we used to. What we are looking, I'm guilty, because everywhere I go, I'm looking, where are the signs? Where's the information? What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to sanitize? Where am I supposed to go? Where's the 6 feet sign on the floor? You know, this is something that if you asked me a year ago, I would never even have thought of it. That has been part of our work before, but we just have not so in such a big way dealt with it. And now is the time, and it goes from hotels to villas to apartment hotels to cottages to these big, huge 2,000 room hotels, business hotels. You see, this is the thing too, and I'm going to put this in here. Is one thing working at a resort hotel over in this part of the world. Now you have to get my businessman that comes in over just one night to understand how he or she is going to deal with the difference of not being able to have certain things that they are used to getting every single time before when they come, when they're used to be able to get their room service in a certain way, they're used to this and that. How are you going to get them to understand? And you know, as a room attendant, you might not think that you're very important, because I know a lot of people don't think that they are. You're the most important person right there and then right now. because they will be looking at you and they will be the ones saying, how have they done my room safe and healthy so I can stay in there? And that's where I come in to make sure that you feel that comfortability to continue to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So
100%.
it is important.
100%.
Very.
Where people need to invest is their core front line, shall we call them, people. Their room attendants, housekeepers. These people are, when you come to a hotel or wherever, the main reason you're staying there is to sleep in a room. That's your main reason.
Yep.
Everything else is secondary. The restaurant, the bar, everything else is secondary. You're there for the bedroom. So if your
Yep.
room attendant is not creating the most perfect space for your bedroom, you're not going to enjoy
That's
the
correct.
hotel experience. So where should you invest? Should you invest first in mixology or should you invest first in your room attendants?
Always in the room attendants, always in the housekeeping department. And I will always say that to any vice president for any company that needs to put away money in the budget, because at the end of the day, and I've seen it a lot, they obviously don't look at training being the most important thing that they have to spend money on right now, because they're not making any money. So why would they spend money on the training? I look at it in this way. If you are a vice president for a company, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you're the vice president of a company, you always look at investment as a vice president. Investment is where you feel that you have your money, it's solid within your company because you're investing, so it's there, it's sitting there. Invest in your people to be able to bring in, keep, maintain, sustain those guests that are coming to you. And it is at the end of the day, yes, it might be a chunk of money that you have to pay for right now, but in the long run, you're going to be the winner. You're going to make money because you invested in your people so that your guests will always pick your hotel and come back. That's how you make money. It goes together. So invest in training. That's my message to all big bosses out there. Invest in training. And some of them really have the right approach, the right idea. They just don't have the dollars and the cents in the bank account. So that is the sad part about it. That's where the governments have to start to come in and help out and see the same thing, that it is important that we do this right now. So
no, I totally agree. And I know that obviously we've discussed your training, and it's, you know, I can tell you, I mean, obviously everyone knows who I am. I'm very experienced, but there's plenty that I would learn from doing your training, 100%. So I defy anyone to say that they're not going to learn from it, because there's never a stage where you stop learning. That's a fact. Never.
No.
So, you know, and people might be wondering, well, how can they do your training if they're in other countries and things like that? But you've also worked out an online version, haven't you, as well?
That's correct. Yes. Yes, because of the scenarios that we're in, and Zoom and these new technology, that is how we do things these days. So I would do a combination of a live session. I would do assignments to the participants so that they can do, I will give them a task and then they will come back to me and send it to me and I'll go over it, and then we have it in verbal in a Zoom meeting where you go through it. I would also have at different hotels here on this island, and I will show on a video how you do certain things so that they have in front of them how they've done it before and how we can do it now in a different way, so that they can see both things, because you learn by looking. Not everybody can learn by just reading. They learn by looking and seeing and feeling and hearing and listening to me for 20 minutes. That will be something you will remember. So I find that I can put the participants in a way that they can both get the reading papers and reading the different things that I put down, but also to see, hear, learn, and then combine that together, because I cannot travel to the different hotels at this point in time. My idea of all of this would be, at the end of the day, when it's safe to travel again and when we can, I would like to go to the different places where I have been training, so that I can show myself and go through a day or 2 or 3 just to go over how was the training, where are we now, and how do we move forward. Because I find a lot of my people that I train, they still rely on me. They still come back to me, even though I don't work for them or with them anymore. They come back to me. And I'm sure you have the same thing, Simeon, that a lot of people come back to you and ask you questions. And that is the kind of networking that you have to do. And then one thing I would like to point out too is I see a lot of training out on the different social media and the different platforms. A lot of people are offering training. So why would you pick Elisabeth from Barbados? Now, I have to say, why you should do that is because I have such a broad combination from so many different areas, and it will bring it together. As I talked about my bag, you know, it is all different levels, so I can relate to so many different people and cultures and way of doing things. So I just wanted to put that in there because that's very important to see. You know, what is it that I can do? Well, try it. I'll show you, and I will be making sure that you you will learn. Trust me, you will learn from me. I know you will. So that's that. Very good.
That's brilliant. I mean, I think that you know, what we'll do, if it's all right with you as well, we'll share a few more in a few other videos. We'll share a couple of your secrets so people can see what you're capable of. We'll share a little bit later. This, you know, there's a little teaser for you for what's to come.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to working with you. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So did you have any parting words for the world?
Well, not more than I think we all need to take a breather. We need to step back. We need to understand that this is a world that has changed tremendously over the last few months. Nobody knows what the future will share and show us. But if we can work together, we can learn from each other, and we can keep the hospitality industry as good as it is. It's the most fantastic industry to work for, in my opinion. And if we can do this together and hang in there and continue to be passionate and continue to learn, I think we have a winning concept at the end of the day, and we will continue. We will survive. We will come out of this stronger than when we started, and more educated and more comfortable in keeping ourselves safe and our families and friends and so forth safe. So that's my last few words. And of course, you have to come and do the training.
Of course, yeah. But no, they're wise words. I think you're quite right. I think, you know, as hard as it is right now, we're just going to come back stronger. And
yes,
we're trained, more educated. We know now. We know.
Yes, we certainly do. We certainly do. So I look forward to it.
Yeah, me too. So thank you so much for joining me today. I think that's given people a lot to think about. Of course, as always, people can leave comments underneath and I will do my best to answer them. I'll get back to Elisabeth and ask her if it's something I can't answer, if it's something she needs to answer.
Sure.
And you'll know where you can email me and things like that to get a bit more information about the upcoming courses. So
fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Elisabeth. It was a great pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I will speak to you again soon. You have it. By the way, everyone, it's her birthday. Can you believe this? She's talking to me on her birthday. Can you even believe
yes,
that?
It's my birthday. So, what a brilliant day to do this on. It's absolutely fantastic. I will never forget it on my birthday. My 25th birthday, by the way. Yes.
Well, happy birthday to you. And
thank you so much.
I will speak to you again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.